Hello, welcome to my channel. So last time, oh, there's news. Yeah, actually, I have a Visual Studio Code. Can you believe? So yeah, I'm trying this out because, well, it's sort of an experiment. Sort of an experiment. So I've been studying basically the Infinicil's script here in the default.nix that recursively constructs an attribute set of a given folder, then collects all these files of a directory as a list of strings of paths, and then it filters out directories that don't end with nix. Yeah, it's just maybe I'm being too hard on this kind of a function. Like from when I just look at it, it kind of makes sense, but I cannot write it by itself. And some of the wording is kind of confusing. So I'm using VSC Code now, trying it out. So, and with a Copilot, because I use ChatGPT a lot, and I don't know, I still have ChatGPT. I got the Copilot Pro, that's for $10. Now, and there's the Copilot chat, which can be opened here on the side, but I opened it in a new window. So now I have two windows from VSC Code like this. And then with this, I go to Firefox. I've also removed the tab bar and only enabled the tree style tab. Now tree style tab, yeah, I had to write some kind of change some settings. And it was not so simple actually to remove the address, not the address bar, the tab bar. The tree style tab is kind of practical, but sometimes you just want to have I think sometimes, depending on what you're looking at, sometimes you really do want to have a tabs on top. Would be nice if I could switch it with a key. Like this and this. If I choose tree style, then I remove this or something like that. That would be nice. Otherwise, it's kind of, ugh. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, I was curious how this predictive thing is going to work. And to a little bit chat with Copilot about this function. No, constructively, I'm just going to get back into this actually. So is everything working? Yeah, everything's working. So recursively construct an attribute set of a given folder. Yeah, this kind of, I don't mean that. This is, look, it's even here. Look, you use the word directory and then you use the word folder. It's, yeah, it's the same, but it's kind of confusing. Recursively constructs an attribute set of a given directory. So that directory can have more directories or folders, right? And has certain files. I think we've, so wait, now I'll have to have a terminal also. So code, did I make a getDir? Did I make a getDir directory? Eternix, what are these guys? Oh, this is me trying out something. getDir. How would I do this in VSC Code actually? I would have to have a file explorer. Yeah, I don't have a file explorer. Wait a second, Runenbach, source control, search, explorer. Like this. You have not opened a folder. Maybe if I open up getDir like this, code. Visual, do you want to save the changes? Don't save. Do you trust the authors? Yes. Register now. Enjoy the trial? No, thank you. Manage extension. Uninstall. Really? No, thank you. So this is my default and Eternix. The nice thing about this is I can use my mouse wheel. Look at this. I can use my mouse wheel to, you know, zoom in and out. That's kind of nice because I don't want to zoom in the entire UI as it happens with NeoVim and Helix. But I think with NeoVim there is a Lua option where you can just, you know, increase the font. Anyway. Well, this is certainly nice. So what am I going? This is really going on like already for 3 streams. Let's go over this again. So where is my? Did I remove it? Ah, yeah, you see, I lost the chat again. Okay, no. Some work stuff. Yeah, I'm having a bit of stress at work, so I'm not fully really concentrated, but I do wanna work a bit on this function. But I'm a bit on and off, so you know, sorry about that. Recursively constructs an attribute set of it. Where is the chat? Now I've lost the chat. I've lost the chat. Well, here's the chat. Open chat in new window. Like this. Yeah, like this. And it can take also voice, which is kind of nice. So I want to understand the script starting from the first part, which is the getDir function. I'm having difficulties understanding it. Well, I do want to understand it, but what I mean is that the function application and how the heads relate to the bodies is not too clear. So while the concept is clear, the evaluation steps are not. So maybe you could teach me starting from the first getDir function. What I like is to iterate starting on a most simple example up to the concrete one. And even the simple should be really simple. Failed to get ready, please review the guidance in the chat view. So all of that what I typed, just this is really annoying. Yeah. Now nothing is happening. Nothing is actually. Why you're not doing anything? Look at this. Wow. What's going on? Type. Well, this is very sign in. What's going on? I did sign in. Well, this is horrible. I'll just stop it. I don't get it. What happened? Are you here? No. I don't. Why is this not working? It was working before. Look, nothing is working. So weird. Is it the update? I don't think it's the update. No, it shouldn't be the update. I'm already on unstable. Oh, look at all the simulation warning. So not so great experience so far, right? Nix select formatting. There are multiple formatters for Nix files. One of those should be configured as default formatter. Configure. What is going on? I click configure and nothing happens. Nix EDE, Nix FMT. Okay, I'll use this one. Yeah. Temporary issues, completions. View details. Edit. Sign in to GitHub. Why am I not sign in? Wants to sign. Yeah, all realms. Okay. Did I sign in? Yeah, this is themes, profile settings sync. Compile failed to get ready. Please review the guidance in the chat view. Please review the guidance in the chat view. What does that even mean? Well, now it's working. I don't know what happened. Open chat in editor, open chat in new window. Hello? Hello, how can I assist you with your code today? Well, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit, yeah, I'm not feeling really. But this is about this file, okay? It's about this script. Your script is a simplified version of the recursive directory reader from the linked GitHub example. Defines a function getDir that takes a directory path. Right, we got that. Uses built-in readdir to list the contents of the directory. Right, we got that too. Let's open up a terminal. Yeah, I'm new with this, so yeah. So that means I'm gonna wait a second. Can I just hide secondary bar like this? Like this. All right. Now we're going. 16 minutes to set this up. Your script is a simplified. It uses built-in readdir to list the contents of the directory. Yeah. Right. ls my dear. So that's like I can go to Nix REPL here and my dear. Right, that's what we've been doing. Dir and built-ins readdir of the dir. But if I put all of that in I think it's like this. Dir built-ins readdir dir. And we're gonna apply that to my dir. And then we get the atext regular and subdir directory. So there are four things that we could have. We could have a regular, which is just a file, a directory, symlink, which is a symlink, and unknown, which is all the rest. It defines a function getDir that takes a directory path. It uses built-in readdir to list the contents of the directory. For each entry, if it's a directory, it recursively calls getDir. For each entry, if it's a directory, it recursively calls getDir. Otherwise, it returns the type. It returns the type. That's the expression. It returns the type, which in this case is actually value because it's an attribute set. But you see, it may come. It's not really confusing here, but it's the wording, I guess, that sometimes it confuses me. It returns the type. So usually regular for files. The result is a nested attribute set. Nix is a version of a dictionary, right? We do know that. Representing the directory tree. Example output structure: file 1 regular, subdir, file 2 regular. Now, differences from the GitHub example. Your GitHub script adds more metadata like file size, symlink, targets. Your script only returns the type of a nested set of directories. If you want to add more features, no, I don't want to add more features. Is this working? You're not showing any sound. But okay, it's not that I don't want to. I want to analyze the getDir function. I'm confused how the heads and bodies, evaluate. That's kind of the most important thing. Basically, what I see in Nix language is to understand how these lambda expressions evaluate and how they connect. As far as I understand, it kind of lets you, see things in a much more clear way than just reading code from word to word. So I want to understand that. Did you get what I said? No, you didn't. I can't believe this. Look at this. This is not working. Is this working? Test, test, test. No, it's not working. Why does start voice chat does not work? It isn't really recording my voice. Nothing is going on. Yeah, there's some problems with this. Not too happy so far. Make sure your microphone, check if your editor extension and microphone permission enabled. Restart your editor and try again. As microphone permission. Maybe I don't have the microphone permission. What is it? Installed? Okay. Why is this not working? For example, you can use the extension anywhere against code. Dictate directly into editor. The thing I don't like about the VSC code is all of these. Key binding control A. Yeah, this is key for editor dictation mode. Sorry, this is just, it's... Well, it's not working. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Vocaster. Yeah. Settings voice. Opening the settings editor. Voice. Accessibility, voice recording, auto. To grant the permissions. Privacy. Oh, it's probably some stuff like this. The extension depends on the shared library for Al Saliba sound. Yeah, I can't really now look into this. I'm not really, yeah. Well, this is not cool. Now I've lost the getDir explorer default.nix, right. Ask Copilot. So well, let's start again for a while. I'm not clear how the evaluation steps are going on, like how the heads, the lambda heads relate to the bodies. And so let's unpack how the three functions work, starting from getDir. And if you could build very small to complex examples from non-working one to working one, so that I can iterate my understanding of the script. Kind of like that. So we're back in school now with AI. What a slow episode, because yeah. Now, basic lambda functions. The lambda in Nix looks like this. Head, yeah, right. I think I'm gonna open up a terminal here. Maybe with the Nix REPL. So the basic lambda function in Nix, x, well, that's the increment function, right? That's the increment function. So inc1 is 2, inc2 is 3. Well, that's really clear. Why is it clear? Because it's simple. We just have a lambda head and a body that says what? That says that this head here, right? Let's do it like this. So that means that instead of the x, we're going to put 2, remove the head, and then we have 2 plus 1, and that's 3. Well, that's simple. Head, the parameter, body, x plus 1. What happens with the parameter? Usage. Sometimes they say that it's the parameter and it's the argument. So it's the parameter before we apply. We substitute the parameter with the argument. You see, so the parameter is the name before we give it an argument. Well, that's something what I got from a Haskell book. Usage, yeah, this is usage function with multiple arguments. Nix functions can take attribute sets as arguments. A plus B, A2, B3, evaluates to 5. So this looks more complicated, but it is the same thing. It is the same. We have to wrap it into a, it's this, right? We have A and B like this, right? And A plus B. So it's just a lambda. But so if we write, so we would have to put it and close it. And then supply it. Supply the values, the keys and the value. So, okay, like this. So we open an attribute set, A and B. Those are the guys that we have. What are we going to do with them in the attribute set? Well, we're going to do A plus B, right? And now we close the parentheses, and now we supplied an attribute set. We need to supply the attribute set. A, it's going to be 1, let's say 1, and B is going to be 2. We need semicolons. Do we need the semicolon at the end? No, we don't. And this will give us 3. Look at this. So this was an attribute set. Using just lambdas, we would have A, B, A plus B. We have to put this in parentheses, I guess. So A, lambda B is A plus B, and we give it 1 and 2. You see, it's the same thing. This is the same thing. But the result, how we got to it, this is through attribute set. This is just through values, like heads and bodies. Okay, not bad. Copilot, you really went from the start. I'm kind of comparing this with ChatGPT. Yeah, let's take this, copy. ChatGPT. Let's see ChatGPT. Does it? I think it remembers I've used. Language or framework. Okay, so it doesn't know. Right. Let's give him a file. It's this. Let's give him the file default.nix. So let's move on. So function with multiple arguments. So Nix functions can take attribute sets. Well, I like this Copilot. He really goes. He has this mini. Yeah, Nix functions can take attribute sets as arguments. A plus B. Right. Usage. A plus B, A2, B3, values to 5. That's what we did. So map address. Now we introduced to map address. So map address applies a function to each attribute set. Oh, I like this better than with ChatGPT. Yeah, this is interesting. This is more, you see, this is much more. That's what I wanted him to for smaller things. Look, let's peel this onion. We'll start with the simplest conceivable directory and hand evaluate getDir. He goes, okay, so ChatGPT doesn't really go incrementally, like top up, bottom up, top up. Cheap years on Streambo, okay. At each step, you'll see what each function's head, lambdas, how the recursion is going. Let's see, getDir. Right, he immediately goes to the function. Head takes one argument, dir, string path, body, right. This is the usual way how ChatGPT explains. Makes a toy, working example, working directory example, and then built-ins readdir modules, getDir modules, leaf, another attribute sets. Yeah, so this is very basic. This is, yeah, I like more what actually Copilot did. Let's see. So map address. Now he analyzes the map address. Map address applies they. I want to use they for Copilot. It's more they than him. Map address applies a function to each attribute in a set. Name, value, value plus 1. Oh, this is like the increment. But the increment, this is a good way to understand map address. Wow, I like this. Much better than ChatGPT. So map address applies a function to each attribute in a set. Now, what are we talking about? Map address, right? Let's say we have a name and we have a value. We have a name and a value. And we're going to do value plus 1. So that's the map address. This is the function that we're going to apply. We're going to map. We're going to map. It's a mapping function, right? It's a mapping function. Name and a value. Some operation. We're going to map this to an attribute set, but it needs to be mapped to an attribute because we have a name and a value. It's not like a mapping function that would increment. Yeah, I guess the simpler example is if you use map. If you use map, I think it would work like x plus 1. I think this would work. And you open up a list of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see this? So map an increment function, right, to a list of numbers. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, and so on, right? So that's the difference. That's basically what mapping does. It maps a function to a field of some numbers, a group of numbers. Well, a group of things. It maps some kind of operation to it. But now the difference between map address is we cannot just write, we cannot just do x plus 1. Because this is a mapping, applies a function to each attribute in a set, which means we have to have also name and a key. Value plus 1, and it has a foo and a bar. Okay, we could do that. We can work with that. So foo is 1. Should have a this, yeah. Bar is 2. So now map at what is going to happen? Name and a value plus 1. So the value, the name will the name should stay the same and the value would change. Undefined variable map address. Maybe I should use built-ins. Built-ins. Name value plus 1. Like this. Okay, I can. Map address. Name value plus 1, and now I'm going to open up. I do like this. Foo1 bar is 2, like this. Now it should work. Now we have a bar 3 and foo2. Yeah, I don't know if this makes any sense. I mean, if this is important, because foo is 1, bar is 2, and now bar is 3 and foo is 2. Should be like foo is 2, bar is 3. Built-ins map address. So I had name value, body value. Your getDir function step by step. Foo2 bar 3. One thing that I would like with chats is to have apply an editor, insert a cursor, copy, insert. Yeah, I'd like to chat about this now and not lose this. Yeah, this is something what I saw with ChatGPT and everything. It's like something in the explanation is not so clear. So I want to like open up a thread about this. Oh. Why is why is this? Yeah, otherwise a lot of the stuff with especially with ChatGPT, that it can output so much. It's just a waste of time, really, sometimes. When you do built-ins map address name value plus 1 foo1 bar 2, two things happen. Map address applies your lambda to every entry. Sure. Right. Walks the attribute set. Sure. Name value returns value plus 1. So foo1, foo2 bar 2 bar 3. Nix prints attribute sets with keys in sorted lexicographic order. Oh, even if you wrote foo first and bar second, internally attribute sets are just maps with deterministic sorted ordering. When they're shown in the REPL, they come out as bar, foo, because bar less than foo. Ah, okay, it's lexicographical. They call it lexicographic, I think. So there's nothing mysterious going on. Your function did exactly what you asked. Anything because it's lazy, you can have it. So let's check again. Well, your getDir function step by step. Suppose you want to just list the types. Let's call them types, head and body. Right. Dir, getDir is dir built-ins readdir. Right? That's what we did. getDir is dir built-ins readdir dir. Look at it. It's written like this. I think it's like this because it's in the file if you write it. Otherwise, you don't have to write the semicolon. Then I can do getDir mydir and get the, yeah. This is actually just built-in readdir. It just reads, but it cannot read what's in the subdir. That's why we need recursion. So add map address. I like much more how Copilot teaches than ChatGPT. ChatGPT goes all over the place. Suppose you want to just list the types. Head and body, add map address. Now process each entry. Oh, I like this. What do you mean process each entry? Well, let's try it. getDir is what? Dir, built-ins, redir, dir. Right, that's what we did before. You see, but what do we do now? A getDir is dir, built-ins, redir, dir. No, let's start from what we know. getDir is dir, built-ins, redir, dir. So this is what we started with, right? So this is a function. Right. Now we have to, oh, I can't, this Nix REPL experience is really horrible. Maybe I should do it in a file. Let's try it. Okay. getDir. Right. We started with this. It's just two-string dir, but let's keep it like this. Right. So now we have getDir, dir, built-ins, redir. What we have to do is now map address. Wow, interesting. Now process each entry. Let's try to first run this. getDir, dir, built-ins, redir, dir. If I write this, wait a second. How do I import? Do I import default.nix? Load default. Interesting. Syntax, unexpected, expecting end of file. Yeah, I don't know how to import this. Well, with the let getDir equals dir. And yeah, I'm not sure. How do I run this? So suppose you want to list each types. This just copies the types, not very useful yet. So we have dir, built-ins, redir, dir. Right. But now we have map address. And what are we going to do with it? We have a name and a type. And a type. A name, a type, and a type. Yeah, I'm confused because the name, type, and a type looks like a Boolean. Looks like a Boolean. right? Look at this. Let's try again. Map address, name, type, built-ins, getDir, undefined variable map address. Built-ins. Map address, name, type, built-ins, getDir. What are we going to get now? A regular subdir directory. But what's the difference? There's no difference between sub. Look at this. This just copies the types, not very useful yet. Add recursion. Now, if the entry is a directory, recurse. Oh, now he's saying. Yeah, that's from non-working example. So no nesting. With recursion, your code, you get nested structure. Yeah, but how do I run these examples? Like, how do I import them into Nix? So please, when you explain things, show a most minimal way how to run it. When you say what it outputs, I like to test it out too. Yeah, okay, so far the experience with the Copilot is better than ChatGPT, actually. At least these codes, and I'm kind of curious because the one thing I like about Nix is because everything's on GitHub. So it would be interesting to use something like GitHub Copilot or some kind of agent that's going to be introduced soon. So it's going to be very interesting. And as I said, so Nix is completely on GitHub, which is cool. I know they're saying not cool. Here's how you can run and test these Nix functions in the most minimal way. getDir, or for the recursive. So test it in a Nix REPL, and getDir Nix. What's the N? Loads your file. Actually, maybe we could like write all of this. Okay, getDir is dir built-ins getDir. Right. Test it in a Nix REPL. So it says to save it. So I've just saved it, and I'm going to go into Nix REPL and getDir Nix loads your file. getDir unknown command N. Okay, that's a mistake. There's no N. getDir, let's try like this. Code getDir. default.nix. Oh, this is not actually, I didn't write it getDir. Let's call it default.nix. Okay. Nix REPL. And I'm gonna load default.nix. It doesn't autocomplete. And it's not working. So you see errors and unexpected, expecting end of file. Okay, so this is the... yeah, I still see what would be the best way to work with this. 55 minutes. Right, I'm gonna finish soon. Yeah, maybe I should do it with a light example actually. Well, this is going on for a while. Used one reference. The error is because in Nix, top-level files must either be an attribute set or an expression, not a bare assignment. To fix this, wrap your function in attribute set or use let in. Really? Is this really all? Right, like this. And right, like this. Can we do it now? Like this. Ah, so it needs to be, look at this stuff. So it needs to have a, it needs to be an attribute set. Look at this. This is what I've been making the mistake. Read dir, okay. The other option would be what? To do it with the let. Let getDir in getDir some directory, then just load default links and it will evaluate the expression. Right. That's the one way, okay? Second way, and let's call it second getDir. So would be let getDir is dir. Look at this, nice. Built-ins read dir. In, what did it write? In getDir some directory, in getDir my dear, getDir my dear. Let's call it getDir let. So that load default. No, it doesn't work. Let getDir no, it doesn't work. Unexpected, expecting. Use an attribute set or is it expecting also the attribute set? This is confusing. Like this? No, it's not working. You can only have one top level expression. Here you are returning attribute set in the oh, I think I know what you mean. Hydra. I think I should have it like this. Now it works, right? You can only have one top level expression. So I'm gonna do like low default.nix. No, it doesn't work. It's amazing. Like I feel like I feel so stupid now with this, really. Why wouldn't I be able to simply write a getDir and a second getDir in getDirlet? Maybe I'm not properly doing the let. Wait. I may have to put it here like this. I don't believe this, really. I mean, this is kind of annoying now, really. I know I'm not having the best day, but this is just annoying. Yeah, really. Doesn't work. Really annoying. Sorry. Let in can't be an attribute set. You need to define it outside. So you mean I cannot put a let in the attribute set? But how would I have... I want to have two of these functions. It's just... Your request failed. Look at this. This also happened. So I'm having problems. Here it won't evaluate. I want to have two getDir functions here that I could try out in REPL. Letting can't be an attribute set. You need to define it outside. But it did define it outside and it didn't work first. I was trying stuff. Look at this again. Sorry. Interesting. You can't mix an attribute set. Oh, Drake. That's the same thing what Drake said. You can't mix an attribute set and a let-in expression at the top level in a Nix file. A Nix file must return either an attribute set or a single expression, not both. Oh, I see. But then you said let-in cannot... Oh, I cannot use a let-in then. You have two functions available in the REPL. Put both in an attribute set. So I should just... If you want to test one directly, use only a let expression. Let getDir, getDir2 in getDir myDir. Okay, that's how you can write. getDir. You mean I should just write a new one? getDir here. Right, so we have a dir and map. I cannot use built-ins. Map address. name type, right? And then, okay, that's what we know from before. If type is directory, right, then getDir. Let's see what's it doing here. Then getDir. If type directory, then getDir built-in path to join dir name. Oh, it's interesting. He's using maybe there are newer functions. Path join dir name. Then getDir. Wow. Built-in path join. Let's try this out actually. Else name, else type. Why would you write type? Built-ins dir name. This was not too smart, right? Name type directing getDir built-ins dir name. Dir name. Oh, else type. And close it. Let's see. And now, of course, built-ins. Yeah. Built-ins read your dir. Right. But we have getDir 2. Let's call it getDir 2. getDir 2. Load default. And it's not working again. Sorry. I'm really not. Yeah. I had a situation at work and it's kind of stressing me out. L default.next undefined variable getDir, and again it won't work. Yes, you said Latin can't be an attribute set. So this was a yeah. Like this. So I can just declare function names. I feel like this also won't work. Load default.next. Oh, this is so annoying. I'm serious. Error syntax unexpected, expecting, and this is the same thing what's going. I don't understand. I don't understand really. This is going on already. I don't get it. It's because getDir is trying to use getDir when recursing into the directory. Shit. Yeah, what would I do without you? What would I do without? It's funny that. Oh. But it's funny, the Nix REPL, it doesn't really show unexpected. What is this? Unexpected. Yeah, it would be nice if it showed this. No, it's still the same. Look. Oh, again, I'm making the same mistake. Assignments need to be an attribute set or a let-in. I cannot just declare stuff like this. I need to put it in an attribute set or a let-in. but I cannot put a let in an attribute set. Really, it's, I don't know, it's kind of, I feel this won't work also. Of course, it's not working. Undefined variable getDir. If type getDir. Maybe I can. Gosh, this is so annoying. I cannot describe it to you. What about? I don't get it. This isn't working. Yeah. I should go. I was writing, I transcribed a Nix episode, actually. NixOS transcripts, where he's showing the language. Should have mentioned it before. If you want a function to be recursive, you'll need to wreck it. I see what you mean, yeah. I need to do like this. Look, now it's showing it actually. It's funny, I didn't see this. Wait a second, if I do it like this, it's not showing. If I do it like this, it's showing. Just before the attribute set. What do you mean just before the attribute set? This one is not recursive. Nope, it's not working. You're saying just before the attribute, expecting inherit. Yeah, it's really clear to me that I have no clue how this works. Syntax error, unexpected rec, expecting inherit. Let's check something. I wrote one about Nix language. No, is it 3? No, is it 4? No, this is about flakes. Let's check 5. No, I think it's 0 actually. It's 0, yeah. It's 0 about the Nix language. This is the default.nix. Right. So this is where Infinicil is showing the language. This is kind of a nice episode. I don't know if you know this. This is the... So let foo is null, foo bar null, foo's bar null. So he's kind of, okay, attributes. Let int, so you see these let variables, let, so he's slowly showing commands and in some package. Yeah, I wonder how he would, wait, this is confusing now again. Null, Nix instantiate eval. Nix instantiate eval, attribute set, foo null. getDir rec, yeah. Foo null, foo bar null, nix instantiate eval default.nix. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Nix instantiate eval default.nix. Yeah, undefined variable nix instantiate. Look at me, I'm in Nix repo. Yeah, rec. Syntax error, unexpected rec. Expecting inherit. But there is a common pitfall. When you load this file in the REPL, you get an attribute set. You must access the functions as attributes. Oh, I didn't know this. What do you mean? When you load the file, you get an attribute set. You must access the functions as attributes. Nix REPL, default Nix. What is this? Call your functions, replace myDir with your test directory. If you get an error, Nix instantiate eval default.nix. This evaluates to just what you see, but if we were to use this literally like this, this would nested in another set. So this is what is syntactic sugar for foo equals another attribute set. So let's quote it so we don't get a conflict. Again fail. Interesting. Why is it failing? The error is because you cannot use rec inside an attribute set. Oh my god. In an attribute set, just write getDir2 and Nix will make all attributes visible to each other. They're automatically recursive. That's, I remember from that, right? When the function is inside an attribute set, is recursive. Now you can use Nix instantiate or in REPL as before. No, it won't work. We did this. No, it won't work. Keeps on happening. Here is what it looks like. Probably because I had this bad day and I'm like, oh, that's so nice of you, Drake. Rec. Oh my. Of course you put rec outside. The attribute. I saw this. I saw this. I mean, yeah, you have to put rec outside. I totally forgot that. Yeah, look now he wrote it here, yeah. So it's like this. Load. Oh. Right. getDir, myDir, regular directory, getDir2, myDir, error attribute path join missing. Yeah, this is probably wrong. Yeah, path join. But it's interesting. What is the built-in path join? Did he make this up? Why did it make? It's so nice of you to write this. Can I put like built-in path join? There is no path join. Wow, it made stuff up. Yeah, Noogle. Maybe it's in Noogle. Do they have here? Path. Path. The type signature not available. Built-in filter source. There is no path join. Wow. Built-in path join. Path join. You literally made up the built-in path join. There is no built-in path join X. To join paths in X, you can use simple string interpolation. Right, so your getDir should be then getDir2 dir name. So this is string interpolation. I don't know if are there any changes. String interpolation. Let's go to discourse. Ticket sales for NixCon. String interpolation. Nix string interpolation or directory is gone already. What's wrong with my avoid string interpolation, Nix? Yeah, I remember seeing some. I'm trying to configure. Let's check out the manual. String interpolation is a language feature where a string path or attribute name can contain expressions enclosed in $ curly brackets. Such a construct is called interpolated string. And the expression inside, what's the difference between a construct and an expression? I guess every construct is an expression, but not every expression is a construct. Inside an interpolated expression, rather than writing with free type library plus free type plus lib, where free type is a derivation, you can instead write with free type 2 library plus free type plus lib. Oh, where free type is a derivation. A more complicated example, configure flag systems lib, if OpenGL then, else, look at the mesa, libsxml, yeah. Echo path. String interpolation. So there is no built-in path to join. getDir2. Right. So it's written getDir, dir, and a name. So right links this dir. Oh, look, it can finish it. Else type built-ins redir. Okay. Now it works. Let's load it. Getdir, mydir, regular directory. Getdir to mydir, regular subdir. I wonder if it will it work like if I do strict? No, I think it's P. No, it's not P. No, it won't work like this, yeah. I think like this maybe. P getdir to mydir. Oh yeah, it works like this with a P. You gotta put P in front. P is like strict when you are evaluating outside of NixREPL. When you put strict, then it evaluates like all the lazy branches. Like here. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Okay, 1 hour and 26 minutes. That's enough for today. I'm sorry, kind of. I was a bit stressed. I'm still stressed out a bit today because of the work situation. And I don't want to talk about it, but it's just kind of, I think it's, visible. And I'm a bit more, yeah. Well, it is what it is, But anyway, I did work a little bit. And Drake, thanks for the help also. Wish you a nice, pleasant day or night. Day and night. Yeah, so have fun. Thanks for the help. But this is really, put rec outside, put rec inside. It's kind of silly a bit, but there is this way of, it's easy to make a mistake, I guess. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.